Welcome back to the DII Nation Podcast, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your co-host, Wayne Cavadi, and joining me, as always, is the great Bethany Bowman. Welcome back, Bethany.
Thanks so much, Wayne. Glad to be back.
Yeah, and obviously this is a big week where we're back to the D2 football semifinals once again. There's not much difference from last year when we met here because 3 of the last year's Final Four teams are the same this year.
And as usual, one of those teams is the defending national champions, the Ferris State Bulldogs. Joining us today are quarterback Mylik Mitchell and all-Galaxy defenseman Caleb Murphy. Thanks so much for joining us, guys.
No problem.
So for both of you, we like to start at the beginning, and you both have different kind of interesting stories about you. You weren't just at Ferris State. Caleb, I want to start with you. You came from an interesting starting point to be at Ferris State. But, you transferred in from Grand Valley State. But tell us a little bit first about the recruiting process out of high school and then what brought you to Ferris State.
So, I was born and raised in Dowagiac, Michigan, coming from a small town that not many people know about, it's really hard to get recruited out of, went to a lot of exposure camps. I got to a lot of invite-only camps, Notre Dame, Ohio State, Michigan State. So those type of things worked in my best effort. I always tested well. But the common thing that all the coaches had to say were, hey, this guy goes to, a school with thousands of kids that go there. You go to a school with hundreds of kids, So, getting told, hey, we're going to go with this guy rather than you, and you're testing, putting up the same numbers, 40 times, doing just as well as them, if not better, in one-on-ones. Through camp and stuff like that. It was just something that, made me who I am today. So, took it to the chin. Got almost every Division II offer you could possibly get from good schools. Took Grand Valley's out of high school, and tried to make the best of it at the time.
And then Ferris State came calling.
Obviously, just things didn't work out at Grand Valley. We split ways mutually. My brother was going to Ferris State, but obviously, I wanted to look at a couple other things first. So I was looking at other schools, trying to get to a Division I school, honestly. But just wanted to play right away. I had to sit out a year at the time being during recruiting at that time. So, I just took the shot to play with my brother. I never got to play with my brother, not even in high school. So, it was a good opportunity for me. And it turned out to be great. Yeah. So got to Ferris and loved it since I've been here.
Yeah. It's a great little connection there to be playing with your brother.
For sure.
How did y'all not play together?
He was, he was like 2 years younger than me and they put him on JV and freshman.
Oh, okay.
See, my league already has a future as a podcaster. He's already doing some of the interview for us.
I got follow-up, man.
I love it. Well, Mylik, what about you and just your journey to Ferris State?
Well, out of high school, I went to high school a long time ago. It seems like I graduated in 15. Small school, John Hay in Cleveland. It's like kind of like a charter school. You got to test to get in there and have certain grades and whatnot. And not really a big athletic school. I went there to play basketball. And walking through the hallway one day, the football coach stops me. He's like, "Man, you play football?" And I'm like, "Man, I could try. I can do a little something." This was my first year playing football. It was my freshman year of high school. And ended up about my junior year getting an offer from Western Michigan. That was my first offer. On my way to school one day, they just called me on the phone. And after that, a few more MAC schools started rolling in. Some D2s started rolling in. And by the end of my senior year, I actually lost most of those offers from waiting too long because there's only about one spot for a quarterback on each team. They don't take too many of those in D1. So lost most of those offers. Ended up going to Kent last minute. Played there for about 2 years, maybe 2.5 years, something like that. And then had some things going on. Ended up leaving, sat out 2 years completely from football. Ended up doing some miscellaneous jobs, worked in a corrugated board factory, which I was making some pretty good money. And then while working there, I'm like, man, I'm trying to get back to doing what I love to do. And so I called Coach Rock, who was actually the OC at Kent when I was like my senior year in high school, got the connection there, and I've been here, man, enjoying myself since.
Yeah, absolutely. Sounds kind of like a Kurt Warner story if you watch that movie. He went to the grocery store for a while before getting his shot back.
Yeah, for sure. It was some jobs like the grocery store for sure.
That's incredible. I mean, yeah, your story is awesome. You know, D1 to D2, injuries, a transfer, all that. You know, how has that kind of made you who you are?
Oh man, I think really the injuries just built a resiliency in me a little bit. You know, really kind of built my pain threshold. I think because I can just bang into things and fall and all types of stuff, and I just pop back up. But I don't know. It's just I love playing football, man. So whatever comes with it, the good and the bad, you know.
For sure. And to follow up on that, we've had Coach Anise on, and we've talked about that quarterback room. Last year, it was Jared Bernhardt, Evan Cummins, and you. This year, it was you, Evan, and Carson. And the crazy part is everyone is always good. How does it help having those guys around you every single day?
Well, you can't forget about my boy Jesse, though. I can't let you forget about Jesse. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He was there last year too. He put in a lot of work. He deserves some credit for the things he does for sure, because he really could be playing anywhere in the nation, and I really mean that. But man, we just gotta love here. It's not normally you would think it'd be all about competition and things like that, but we tend to understand what the bigger picture is here, you know, and especially when you winning games at the rate we win them, you kind of just learn to, you know, fall into your role and stay there. So,
and it's crazy to me, right? Because like last year, let's not deny it, Jared stole the spotlight, and rightfully so. He was amazing. But meanwhile, it was you that kind of nobody talked about that threw for 500 yards and what was it, 6 touchdowns in a game and set the school record, right? Like it's always amazing to me how each one of those quarterbacks, whoever it is, comes into the game and they're almost immediately one of the best quarterbacks in D2. It's amazing. Like, do you guys just sit there and I can't imagine, like, you just must be having the best time just feeding off each other in the QB room.
It's kind of funny sometimes when you throw around those stats and all that, because last season I think every quarterback on the roster, I mean, other than Jesse, he didn't get the opportunity maybe he thought he deserved, or other people thought he deserved, but every quarterback that played last year scored 5 or 6 touchdowns in the game. You know, like literally, and it might not even took them to get a rhythm or nothing. They might have got in one game and they scored 5 or 6 touchdowns. So you got to give credit to them. The offense we had, the O-line we had, which was crazy, you know what I'm saying? And the coaches, you know, they put us in those positions. So
yeah. Let's go to the other side of the ball and talk about you a little bit, Caleb. I was at the Lenore Ryan game this year. Mylik, you didn't play that game. You were out with injury. But Caleb, you did. And you had 5 sacks, a forced fumble. I thought one of the cool things when I was talking to Sandy after the game was it's not even when he's getting the sack. It's also the plays when he's not involved. Everything just goes to chaos because they're worried about him. And it just a ridiculous season, 24.5 sacks, the Gene Upshaw Award winner. You're a candidate for 2 more awards. Everyone has big goals coming into the season. Are you even just a little bit like right now, like, wow, this is a lot?
So I'm really not thinking about it. I was talking to my mom the other day. It hasn't hit me. Like, I'm graduating this semester, you know, just a whole bunch of stuff's happening that's going to be new for me. And it hasn't hit, you know, I think for the simple fact of I'm living in the moment, you know, the sack record, all of that, you know, it's all nice, you know, the Gene Upshaw, you know, I'm very grateful for all the opportunities that I get for these awards. But, you know, the biggest thing is, you know, you come here to Ferris State, you want to win a national championship. You know, so my biggest goal right now is to get back to that feeling exactly. So, you know, just being able to, you know, provide my best efforts to the team and, you know, whatever it is, you know, not getting a sack, rushing the quarterback, hurrying them, you know, or, you know, just being selfless, you know, in whatever I do is the biggest goal for me now, you know, just making sure that we can get back to where we were at last year. I think when the season's over, I'll have that wow moment. But if I'm being completely honest, it just hasn't hit yet. Like, there's just nothing that, like, you know, I'm not satisfied, I guess, in a way, but, you know, there's nothing to be happy for at this point because we haven't won a championship. You know, we lost the DII championship to Grand Valley, you know, so trying to get back to the national championship is the biggest thing.
Yeah. So For someone that has never seen your style, your team play, describe for us your style of play. What goes through your head when the quarterback calls hike, and why is Ferris State such a good fit for your style of play?
So to answer your second question first, I like that question. Ferris State fits my play because the coaches play to your abilities. Here at Ferris State, the coaches don't try to change you. They don't try to build you into a system. You know, they're not a systematic program. They're players, coaches, you know, in that way. When I got here, you know, the coaches seen that I was twitchy, agile, I can move in space, you know, those type of things. So they allowed me to do that, you know, so they fixed things around to where they play to my best abilities. And with doing that, it opened up a lot of stuff I can cover. You know, I can rush the quarterback. I can sit at LB and play the run. I can play the run from an end spot, standing up, hand in the dirt, you know. But I think the thing that makes my play so well is I'm fast. I play fast, you know, it's fast. I got a little bend to me. And I got a motor that doesn't stop. I truly believe that. A motor that doesn't stop. You know, I work hard. I work extremely hard to get to that quarterback, even when it's not looking good, you know. Stats might not show it on the stat line, you know, but that doesn't matter to me for the simple fact of I know that I'm harassing that quarterback and he's thinking of me, you know. So my motor doesn't stop, and you're going to see me at the end of the game no matter what.
I mean, I probably shouldn't admit this because as a report, and I do, for 7-8 years, I show no bias, but there were a couple sacks in that Lenore-Ryan game when I was there, and I was just like on the sideline, and I was just, whoa, like I was just like, I reacted, and I probably, I know I'm not supposed to, but what you said, playing fast, it's exciting. You kind of get caught up in it, right? And it's fun to watch.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate
it.
All right, Mylik, last week, one of the best games of the year, you led that big long drive and had a couple of big runs to help turn it around against Grand Valley State. How are you guys able to dig in and turn the momentum around of that game?
I think, man, just count on each other. Really, just believing in scheme, believing in what we went through all week in practice, you know, and just executing, man. It's not too hard, man. I try to tell guys we went to that locker room at halftime, and you know, there's some guys who are saying these things and saying this, and it's just, man, play the game. It's just the game we all was raised playing or watching. You know, just go out there and do what you're 1/11th, and I promise you the play is gonna go well. And as you've seen the second half, there weren't too many negative plays, at least compared to the first half. And you know, we got the job done that last drive. I think we converted 2 4th downs, about 3 3rd downs, 30 mediums. You know, it was just a well put together drive. We didn't get behind the chains, which we pretty much did almost every drive in the first half, you know. So I don't know. The second half, we just buckled down and handled our business.
Sure. Is there ever a moment? I mean, you look at there's like 3-4 losses over the last 4 years, right? Is there ever a moment, even against the Grand Valley State, your big rival, that you go into that locker room in the half and anybody's worried? Or is it that, and I'm not saying that it's like an egotistical swagger, but is the confidence always there that you know that there's still a half left and you guys got it?
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the game, it's 30 minutes and 30 minutes. So if you were down 40 in the first half, then that means it's possible to score 40 on them in the second. So, you know what I'm saying? It's just a game of just belief. And honestly, when you go in the locker room, there might be guys screaming their head off. There might be guys, you know, throwing things. But we know as teammates, that's not because we think they're scared or they're scared of what's going to happen. They're just fired up and they're ready to get back outside. It's probably too long of a halftime. We probably want to get back and play, you know. So that's just how it is with us, man. We really we take the dog thing real deep, you know, and we ready to bite at all times.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. For both of you, obviously this is a big week. It's the semifinals, and I don't think either of you were there the first time, but in 2019, this is the exact same game on paper, right? Number 1, Ferris State versus number 4, West Florida. West Florida won that game, went on to win the national championship. So it is a rematch, but it's a lot different. Is there extra intensity? Are there extra emotions for the team this week? And how are you guys mentally preparing for the matchup? Either one of you could answer that.
There's a sense of urgency, but I think the sense of urgency has always been there. You know, to me, it's just another game. I think to other guys, it's just another game. They're in a way of what we want, so we got to get them out the way. But I think we don't put too much time into thinking about, revenge at that point. I think it's more so they're in the way, hey, whoever comes in front of us, we got to smash you right in the mouth every play, and get back to where we want to get, just how we were last year, So being the standard of things and meeting the standards of things is the most important thing to me for the team.
And I will say the first ever football game I watched of Ferris was that game. I drove about 5 hours from Cleveland. And I think I left that game saying, man, I cannot wait to play a game like that. Obviously, if you look at what happened in that game, we might have turned the ball, 5-6 times, something like that. And I'm like, man, not to be, cocky or nothing. I'm like, I wouldn't do that. As a quarterback, I would, what I'm saying? I think I could make something happen on this team, man. So that game, honestly, it'll always be in the back of my mind, just thinking, that's the first game I ever saw this team lose. And after that, they ain't lose a game until what? Till last week.
Not last week.
Or this season. Sorry, the TV game. So that was the only 2 losses, the one I saw and the one, we played in. So I mean, I don't think it's a get back thing. A lot of guys want some get back, especially because a couple of guys we got now played in that game. And they're really big on the get back thing, And so whatever my brothers want to do, I'm gonna ride with them, especially when it comes down to war and going out there and shedding blood and really fighting for something, So
for sure. Like we said, we had Coach Anise on before, and you can tell he is a man that just loves where he is at. For both of you, what is it about Coach that makes Ferris State so dominant these past 5 or 6 years? Caleb, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I guess I would just say the standard of, the play here. We've seen some guys in front of us leave, Liam Daly, Sam Jarrett. For me, this is defensively, Austin Simpson, and then offensively, you go Dylan Pasquale, those type of guys. They've been here, they've won. They're still around. They can still see us, So just to, set the tone that's been there, and continue to come in, and share love and culture, helps us win. TA loves where he's at because he loves every player that he has. He shows it. He tries to be there for you no matter what. He's going to help you out in any way he can. So I think the culture of love and trust is really what keeps the level of play all the way up.
Yeah, and I also think what we touched on earlier when Murph said he bends the scheme to the players that he has on his team, and I think that's really important, especially at this level, just to keep things rolling. Along with the fact that he's not gonna bend too much on the scheme, like TA likes to run the quarterback, you know what I'm saying, and things like that. So he ain't gonna give that up. So he gonna go with what wins, and we even had some conversations today at practice, some certain players might want to run this and that, and he gonna tell you, like, look, I done won games doing this, and I chimed in with him. I said, man, hey, when you win 900 something games, it's like you can do what you want and say what you want, and especially when you're the head coach, man. He got himself in that position over years of handling his business, and one day hopefully, we can do the same.
Yeah, it's funny because when he was on, we were talking about Jared being a lacrosse player and still fitting the system so well, kind of going along with what you're saying. He builds the system to them. Bethany, I don't remember. He said, if there's a sumo wrestler out there that wants to play football, you bring him to me and I will get him to play quarterback. Yeah. And I believe it. That's the thing. I believe it.
No joke.
You gotta believe
it. So again, for both of you, check this out. Grand Valley State twice, Northwest Missouri State, Pittsburgh State. Those are the teams Ferris State had to beat to get to the semifinals. And when you think about that, those are all national champions, right? So for you to be in a position to be in back-to-back semifinals, having to go against that, you're playing in the best part of the country. What's it like, every game going into that with that mentality? Does that make you guys tougher? Does that, is there any, you were talking about resiliency earlier. I mean, that has to help there too, right?
Yeah, I think I was getting at, no one signed up to Ferris to play any teams that we didn't think would challenge us, you know. And especially when you look at, like, I came from a Division I school. We played teams like Alabama, Penn State. Those are teams I played when I was at my last school. I'm pretty sure he's played against some pretty good players. There's a lot of players from last year's team that came from Division I schools that played against, you know, great players and teams. And so no one wants to come here and just have a cakewalk. We want to prove ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So these are the games when you get to prove yourself, and this is what we came here for.
Awesome. Caleb, anything to add on that and just the elite competition you see every week?
It's an opportunity, like Lee said. So, yeah, just to back up on that, it's an opportunity. Guys see it as nothing but that, you know. Yeah, I don't got nothing to say. Lee hit it right on the spot. Yeah, it's just an opportunity to me.
And this one's for both of you as well. What makes Division II so special? Obviously, Caleb, you've seen it at two different places, but same level. Mylik now seeing kind of the difference. What makes where you're at and the level that we're at so great?
It's gritty. You know what I'm saying? You got to have guts to play D2 football. At the end of the day, you do. You know what I'm saying? Division I guys, they get a little bit more things handed to them, and I'm not saying that in a way that's disrespectful at all.
It's the truth.
I'm saying it as they're treated much better with the resources that they have. You know, Division II guys, you know, they get the opportunity to play football and see it just as that. You know, so if you're there, you know, for the experience and stuff like that, you might be in the wrong place if you're playing Division II football. When you come to play Division II football, you're there to simply play football, win games, and go after it with your brothers and just be a gritty guy, you know, just a gritty person in general, guy, female, whoever, you know, just Division II sports most definitely are like gritty people, like, you know, and that's in a nice way, you know, like they're just attacking the situation. They're coming at things to win, you know, they're competitive. I think at Division I, people try to get to places for different reasons, you know, at schools, you know, some guys are going to places to get to the NFL, you know, not to win a national championship, or they're going there because, you know what I'm saying, they have the resources to get there, you know. So Division II, you know, guys are, you know, small school guys, or they're guys who bounce back, you know, from Division I schools, and they're just working hard. They're gritty and they're working hard.
And I think the biggest thing, at least that I've taken from it, from seeing the difference, obviously Division I was treated with the utmost care. Like, it was almost like being enabled to just kind of be lazy in certain aspects. Like, you don't pick your classes. You don't even go get your own books. They come in a box with your name on it, and it got a schedule printed out, laminated for you. Like, if you don't go to class, that's completely your problem, like your fault. But I think the biggest thing when I came to D2 is I got to actually connect with people, like, on a deeper level, even outside of football. It didn't just stay on the field or in the, you know, the complexes or meeting rooms. Like, I really count on some people here to just get a meal, get dinner sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. And I got real brothers that I've run into here, man, real family. So I think that's the biggest thing about D2, man. At least here. I can't speak for no other 130 other teams, but I've been blessed to be here and have a great time being here.
Yeah, that's so true, guys. And I was a Division II athlete too. So in the words of Caleb, I am a gritty person. I love it.
Yeah. Sure.
I like it. All right, so that was the football part of the show. Now we're going to move on to the D2 Nation hot seat and just close out the show with some fun questions. So, are you guys ready?
Yeah, always.
All right, Bethany, you get them started as always.
All right. As always, we start off pretty easy. What's your favorite NFL team, and who is your favorite player of all time?
Okay.
Should have brought my hat.
My favorite player of all time is Tom Brady. It's the reason I wear 12. I just think he's the type of guy that, you know what I'm saying, if you want to be a winner, you know, you think of Tom Brady, you know, all those Super Bowl rings, you know, he's a winner, you know, fourth quarter, you know, wins and stuff like that. He's a winner. But my favorite team would have to be the Patriots because I was a big fan of Brady growing up. So, yeah.
He's gritty.
Yeah.
He's gritty.
Yeah.
He's gritty.
Definitely Giddy. That's the word of the day for sure.
All right, Mylik, what about you?
Cleveland Browns all day. All day long. Can't nobody change it.
I'm sorry.
Nah, go ahead. Yeah, you can be sorry all you want, but we gonna look. I'm gonna keep on loving them to the end. But my favorite player growing up was Brett Favre.
Oh, nice.
And then as I got a little, because I watched Brett Favre, I was kind of real young. That was like my first player really watching, and then it became Aaron Rodgers because it was like he's right behind Brett Favre,
Right.
you know. And they kind of play so similar, but I'm like, and this dude running around getting smacked in his head, throwing a 60-yard bomb, you know. I'm like, this dude crazy out there, man. So yeah, Brett Favre was always my favorite player in the NFL growing up, and then Aaron Rodgers obviously took that over, won a ring in like 2012 or something like that. I had his rookie card, and I couldn't let nobody touch it. I had it in a laminated, put it on the wall and everything. I'm like, man, this dude crazy. But yeah, that's my favorite.
Nice. Normally we ask what the best football movie is, but because it's December, Caleb, you first. What's the best Christmas movie of all time?
It's only one answer to this. You tripping.
Is that what it is?
You gonna answer, man. Give your answer,
is that
man.
The one?
Give your answer, bro. Don't mess it up.
I'm gonna say I think it's Friday After the Next.
Okay. Yeah. What about you, Mylik?
The Grinch.
I love how you say that with such certainty. With such certainty.
It gotta be the Grinch.
It's a good one.
What is in your headphones pregame to get ready?
For me,
yeah, you go.
Both of you.
I'm going with Rich Homie Quan. You know, Rich as in spirit. Y'all should really go listen to that album. It's really good. I ain't gonna lie. Either that or
I know some.
Okay. or my boy Low Life Lamb, man. It's my boy from the crib, man. Gotta shout him out. Cool. So I put him in my headphones, man, and rock out, man, just to feel like I'm at home.
For me, it's I'm a big Juice WRLD fan, so it's always gonna be Juice WRLD playing before the game.
Nice.
Go
ahead.
You guys have any just kind of guilty pleasure, embarrassing songs that you wouldn't want anybody to know that you listen to?
Any Taylor Swift playing in your headphones before the game?
I don't know.
I don't listen to none of that before the game, but I'll
working my way downtown. Who is that?
Oh yeah. That's okay. Vanessa something.
Vanessa Hudgens.
No, it's not Vanessa Hudgens.
I don't even know their name.
Nah, I know you're talking about.
It's Vanessa Carlton.
Oh yeah.
Let her know for me. That's a banger.
What next question is Mylik, we'll go to you first. What's your favorite like binge-worthy type of television show, like a Netflix type of show that you just watch all at once?
I've binged so many shows. I done went through so many injuries.
What's the most recent one you watched?
I would have to say Blacklist.
That's a good one.
I would have to say Blacklist. Like every episode is like a crazy situation. You know what I'm saying? It keeps you glued on there, but that's mine.
I'm a big anime guy, so I'm gonna go with either Naruto or My Hero Academia.
Okay.
We don't have a lot of anime answers to that question. I like that we get something new there. I like that.
Yeah. All right, what's something that you're not very good at and you wish you were better at?
Snowboarding. I'm terrible. and I get scared. I don't get scared that much, but going down a mountain is just like the craziest thing.
100% right there with you. It's terrifying. It's terrifying.
I think it's luck that people do this and they're good at it, but I'm gonna say fishing. I'm terrible at fishing, but I think it's all luck at the end of the day, because you're casting something into the water, hoping that you catch something.
What if somebody told you pass rushing was all luck?
That's not a fact.
That'd be crazy.
I love it.
Yeah, come on, you're really probably making some good fishers mad here, Caleb.
Yeah, for real though. Some teammates.
Last question, if you could grab dinner with any celebrity in the world, who would it be?
Ooh, you go.
Nah, you go for that one. Honestly, I'd probably go like LeBron James.
Okay.
I mean,
Why?
he from, he from Akron, right around the corner. I ain't never met him. It's like almost like, as a kid, man, it's kind of like really the king. He really thought he was like the king of the city or something,
Mm-hmm.
So probably LeBron, just to holler at him, tell him how much he meant to me as a kid, something like that.
That's awesome.
Lil Uzi Vert. Swear. I love him. He's uppity. I know he's got some weird vibes to him, but he's an energetic person. I'm energetic, so I like being around that.
All right. Good enough. Well, go ahead.
I got one more. Mylik, are you cold? You got a jacket on. Is it cold up there?
Nah, I'm the guest, so I don't like getting, I like going in and out, man, being able to get, get gone when I want.
Okay, you're Caleb's hosting.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, we thank you both so much for joining us, and we're going to let you go now, get some rest, and obviously good luck this weekend, and it's going to be fun to watch what happens on Saturday.
Thank you.
Sure. Thank you, Wayne. Thank you, Bethany. For real.
Absolutely. Remember, before we go, D2 Nation, we need your support. Check us out everywhere podcasts are available and on YouTube. And while you're at it, give us a like. We'll see you next week on the D2 Nation.